Hi and welcome to this live currency strength indicator tables video. My name is John. I'll be taking you through the charts this Monday the 5th of December. Here we can see we have the live currency strength indicator tables in front of us, and we have two types of tables. We have the trend traders table and the day traders table. These are showing the same studies but just highlighting different time frames. So the trend traders is our higher time frame and the day traders is our lower time frame. You can see here the currencies are all highlighted in green. That means there is a confluence between those currencies, and that's where we'll be focusing a lot of our attention in this video. So for us, it's been a busy morning. We've been looking at all the pairs and having a look at seeing where those pairs are in terms of positions. So tables auto update every 15 minutes 24/7 as well, so if you do have access to the live currency stream indicator tables, do not forget that you can access them at any time wherever you are globally. Now, what are the tables showing us today? Well, they're actually pretty much a replica, a mirror of each other, so it's quite easy to be able to say that the New Zealand dollar is topping the charts today, followed by the Japanese yen, which is the second strongest currency on both, as well as the pound, which is the third strongest currency on both. We then have the US dollar, which remains the weakest on both, followed by the Canadian dollar, which is the second weakest on both tables, and then the Australian dollar, which is the third weakest on both tables. Now I'm going to have a little focus on yen again today. We did focus on yen quite heavily last week, and I do feel like there's a little bit more room to go on the yen pairs. I've had a look at the other pairs in terms of the dollar pairs as well. Kiwi dollar coming into key area of interest, so we will have a little flick over to those dollar pairs. Pound pairs I think are just in a little bit of a area where it's not useful to look at them just yet, so we will maybe talk about them in the near future. So let's jump into the charts. I've highlighted CAD yen once again because CAD yen looks to be heading towards the downside. We've broken through last month's low already. We've moved 170 pips below last month's low, so I'm expecting this to potentially continue to gain to the downside here. We have this trendline support running through, which could be an area for short sellers to target, as well as this level just through here around about the 99 area, which hasn't been tested yet, which is what I'm looking for price to test. Now if we head over down to the weekly time frame, we can see we had a nice aggressive weekly candlestick last week, and typically when we get a move like that, we can often see a small hesitation the next week or a bit of a range the next week. What I'm actually looking for is a bit more of a pullback here before seeing the continuation to the 99, because we've traded through this bullish channel, we've traded through the 200 moving average, we've traded through another key area of interest, which was the 102 handle. So I'm looking to see if we're going to go to the next area of interest, which is the 99 down through here. If I go to the daily time frame, I'm just going to open this out a little bit. You can see everything again in a little bit more detail. Now what I would actually like to see is price come up a little bit higher. I would actually like maybe a move towards the 102 handle again, where you can see that we had that slight pause in price before price traded through that again. So I wouldn't mind actually seeing price recover a little bit here for CAD yen. May find some kind of bearish price action then at the 102 handle for a move back down to the 99 handle. Now that may not occur. Price may not want to pull all the way back. We may only see a slight recovery before the continuation. If that's the case, if I pop down to the 4-hour time frame, we may be looking for something a little bit here where we have this trend line resistance coming through. Again, the 102 handle does offer a nice resistance point because it has the confluence of the trend line and the horizontal resistance. However, the tail of this low comes down to 101.30. So price may want to, if it's a strong aggressive move to the downside, may only want to reach the previous lows before continuing lower there. So that's just something to consider as well if you are in agreement that the yen could continue to be strong. So CAD yen looking for that pullback there. That's very similar to a lot of other yen pairs that feature on the tables. If you have a little look here, we can look at dollar yen and Aussie yen. If I go to Aussie yen, for instance, Aussie yen has just rebounded. Let me just bring it up. Aussie yen has just rebounded from a daily range low. So you can see here, if I just zoom out, price has been pretty much range bound between the sort of 96 handle down to the 91 handle, been pretty much sideways. We've had the odd breakout here and there, but nothing really substantial. Prices continue to remain within those two sort of levels, and you can see most recently price rejecting that 91 handle again and moving back to the upside. The only thing we could probably say here is if we go to that 8-hour time frame, price is starting to come back into this key area of structure around about the 92.25 handle. So there is a potential maybe here that the Aussie yen may make a move a little bit earlier ahead of the other pairs of interest. So maybe that's something to consider in there. I will jump over to Kiwi then, because Kiwi is something that's been very popular. We've been looking at New Zealand dollar longs for some time now, ever since we kind of breached through this key area down here at the 57.50. We've been talking about longs on Kiwi dollar, which has seen price move over 600 pips to the upside. And are we getting to a point now, though, where Kiwi could potentially slow down? Well, looking at the price of Kiwi dollar, if I just jump up to the monthly would suggest that there's a little bit more room to go, because we have this trend line resistance through here, as well as kind of previous structure points a little bit higher up around about the 0.66 handle. Whereas at the moment we're coming up to a sort of minor level of resistance, I would say. So if I go down to the daily time frame, you can see that price recently found resistance at the 0.6450 handle, and it was quite significant resistance because price moved 870 pips to the downside from that area. So although I said that's minor in terms of we haven't had many touches around about the 6450 handle, we had quite a significant move down from that point. So I think that we might see some profit taken around the 6450 handle, and that could lead to a little bit more downside in price. We may only come back to the 200 moving average here, the 0.6290 handle, or even the 0.63 handle, which is previous structure highs here. You can see I have it mapped out here as 62.75. We could stretch that up to the 0.63 handle and kind of consider that a 25 pip zone through there. But that would be where I'd be interested in Kiwi again. I think I'd rather wait to see how it reacts around about that 6450 handle, because we've had a significant move from that point in the past. So other charts of interest from the tables, like I said, we could look at sort of dollar, yen, the pound, but I've had to look at the majority of them, and they seem to be all coming into resistance. I'm just going to mention Kiwi CAD quickly, just because, again, we have mentioned Kiwi CAD quite heavily in the past, and it has actually come into a level of resistance now. So do be aware that we are trading at a resistance point with Kiwi CAD. Now that resistance was built up from this short-term range that developed back through March 2022, March and February. So we had this kind of range in here between the sort of 0.8750 handle and the 0.8625 handle. We traded through that and had that significant move to the downside. Price is back there now, and you can see we've kind of straight lined to that area. So in my opinion, I'd rather not be a buyer here. I'd rather wait for some kind of move back down first. You know, if it can pull all the way back down to the trend line, which was resistance, could act as support, and the previous highs down through here, for instance, that would be an area where I'd be more interested in doing something with price. At the moment, Kiwi CAD at an area of resistance, which kind of goes with our bias that maybe Kiwi is running out of steam a little bit, or it could be a point where profit takers do come in on any Kiwi sort of longs through there. So I'm going to leave it there. I hope you enjoyed this video update. Remember, if you do have access to the live currency strength indicator tables, they are 24/7, so you can access them at any time. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I look forward to speaking to you in the next one.